passion and pageantry of college football lives here. This is the Paul Finebaum Show, Hour 4 podcast.
This might be college football heaven.
Final hour of our program. We still have one more guest to share with you. It's been a busy one with Dennis Gates and Bratton starting it all off. Let's continue with more phone calls, and Cameron is up next. Hello, Cameron.
Hey, Mr. Paul. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. You sound great.
I appreciate it. Before I go forward with my original topic, I'd just like to say that when you came out to Barber Motorsports Park back in 2023, whether you remember this or not, I was actually the gentleman that spoke with you briefly before the race. And, I was about to graduate high school, and you gave me some tips on college and stuff and how to get started, and it really made my day, and I appreciate you for that. But also...
Well, thank you, Cameron.
There was a gentleman... Yes, sir, absolutely. There was a gentleman that called in earlier that was talking about Bruce Pearl, and he made the claim that Bruce Pearl said that Auburn would be one of the greatest teams of all time. That's not what he said at all, and I just wanted to correct that.
Yeah, please do, because I didn't hear it.
Right. Bruce Pearl's comment was that Auburn has potential to have one of the best regular seasons of all time. Now, that's debatable, but you have to take into account this is probably one of the best, if not the best, versions of SEC basketball that we've ever seen. And, leading candidate for Player of the Year
you're
with
right.
Kenai
I'm glad you cleared that up because I didn't see the interview last night. The only thing I would probably compare it to recently would be 2015 with Kentucky when they were undefeated in the regular season. But
sure, absolutely.
But John Calipari managed to throw that one away in the Final Four.
Right, and I'm hoping that Auburn can maybe make it back to the Final Four and actually win something instead of get bounced in the first round with such great potential.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, listen, what are you doing right now?
Actually, right now, I just got finished work and about to head on.
Okay, well, I appreciate you saying hello to me. That was a really great event a year or two ago at Barber's, and if I can ever help you again, let me know.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you very much. You be well. You take care of yourself. Let's continue with more phone calls here, and JT is up next.
Hey, Paul. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for calling.
So, I kind of want to go back to the hockey thing. The guy that said that hockey doesn't need fighting, that's softer than boiled baby carrots there. But what I called you to talk about is how Billy Napier should be fired from the University of Florida.
Okay.
It's god-awful. And I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Well, first of all, we went through that all last season, and he didn't have a very high bar to clear, and I think he did by winning 8. Would he win 8 games, I think? So he gets a vote of confidence from his boss, Scott Strickland. That's the good news. He's got Lagway, which is a generational quarterback. He still has a very challenging schedule, though, and if Lagway turns out to be what we think he is, then I don't think Napier's future will be in debate. Now, the issue here is the beginning of this schedule. I don't know anybody who has a tougher beginning. What I mean by that is not Long Island or South Florida. It's at LSU and Miami back-to-back. He's going to have to win one of those games. And then I think he's probably going to have to win one of those Texas or Texas A&M games, because if he loses all 4, the heat is going to be so high by the time he gets to Jacksonville for the Georgia game with still a road game at Ole Miss and Tennessee to finish the season. Thank you very much for the call. I do appreciate it. Let's check out Stacy up next.
Paul Finebaum. What's going on?
Hey there, Stacy.
Hey, I'm gonna ask you, Paul. I'm gonna ask you to call out some names.
Okay.
All right. Now, you tell me one person that's been talking about me, Paul. Talking about me being a traitor. Tell me one person. Name one person.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Was it Dwayne or Bash? Who?
Okay, now, I want you to name.
I really don't remember. I know somebody did.
So Dwayne, right?
Who was it? Was it Dwayne? I think it was Dwayne.
Name me one more person, Paul. Come on, keep naming. Come on, keep naming.
I think Johnny B. I could be wrong. I'm just throwing names out.
Yeah, Johnny B. Name me another one.
Probably Chris.
Chris. You know what that is, Paul?
Sounds like a chicken to
the
me.
Gamecocks, baby.
Gamecock.
That's that rooster, Paul.
Rooster.
That's that rooster. That's that rooster, Paul. The Gamecocks, baby. They playing tonight, Paul. My girl's playing tonight.
Yeah, they're playing next.
They gonna win it, huh?
I'd say they win tonight. Yeah, they're due for a bounce back.
Yeah. Hey, well that's it. We finna go through this SEC script, and we gonna win this thing. I'm telling you. I want everybody to keep the energy that they got, Paul. Keep the energy that they got, talking about the blowout win, because them girls gonna host that trophy at the end. They're going to host it at the end, Paul. Paul.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you very much. Don't know if I'd made it without hearing that rooster crow. Tanner is up next.
Hey, Mr. Paul, you doing all right today?
I am doing great. Thank you.
Well, Paul, you know, I really, as much as I'd like to talk about the Tide and how disappointed I was last night, I couldn't help but hear, it was probably a joke, but I heard you talk about retirement just a second ago. And
well, somebody brought it up, and Randy said I should
I heard
retire.
Randy. Well, I just, I know you bought a big, expensive house recently, and I'm having flashbacks. Nick Saban, he bought a big, expensive house. Next thing I knew, he was retired. So I just want to make sure you in good health, everything good.
Let me deal with my health first of all. My health is about as good as it can be. I also just a couple of months ago signed a new 3-year deal here, so I'm not eager to walk away after going through that. You always think about it. I know sometimes, but on the other hand, I talked to a friend of mine today who is 81. And he is an orthopedic surgeon, and he operated this morning. So he said, "Why should I retire?" I'm like, going, "You're right. Why should you? As long as you're one of the elite people around." So that's always a conundrum for people once they get older. I certainly like what I'm doing.
That's good. I know you had to deal with some, Now,
by the way, there was a call about a few minutes ago that I thought about quitting on the spot, but that has nothing to do with the question.
But all right, Paul. Well, I just, I'm sorry. You're the GOAT. You're the best.
Well, let me make it clear though, Tanner. When you said Saban bought a house, that was like one of 5 homes, so it wasn't that big a deal. I have one house.
I got you. Well, Paul, I just, you're the best to ever do it, and I've been listening to you, half my life, and I just.
Well, listen, I want to make this clear to you, Tanner. If for some reason you ever see somebody suggest, you read that I'm leaving, it's not because I wanted to.
I got you. Well, I don't necessarily trust the suits and ties, the executives.
Well, Tanner, for that, I completely concur with you on that.
Well, I think it's got to be up to us, Finebaum Nation, to have a contingency plan for when you do retire, because, I don't know who's going to fill your shoes, but they're going to be big shoes to fill, Paul. So you have a great day, Paul, and roll Tide.
Thank you very much. We'll take a short break on that note, because Randy's already, measuring the chair for him. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Paul Finebaum Show podcast.
Back, and we are in dire need of sense. Common sense. Who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? Squirrel.
There you go. That's right. Hey, you mentioned on several occasions that you and your dad used to go to Cardinals games.
Yes, we sure did.
Did y'all ever go to any of the Blues games up in the old arena?
No.
No. My company that I worked for 35 years, they sent me up there. They were headquartered out there, so they moved me up there in '88. I I'd never even been to a hockey game, never even seen a hockey game in my life. And the first week, the guys in the office took me to a game, and that night it was a penalty shot. And I guess you know what that is when the
yes, I used to go to hockey games growing up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd never.
Yeah, we had a hockey team where I grew up.
Where did y'all go?
A minor league.
Oh, in
team.
Memphis they had a hockey team.
They had a Central Hockey League, something like that.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't even bore you with this hockey question, but that was pretty exciting sporting event to see a power play. I have to admit, not know what the hell I was looking at, but it was pretty exciting.
No, I was actually a big fan growing up. I don't know what happened to it, but I was.
Gotcha. You didn't get a lot of exposure to hockey over in the East Tennessee side, maybe Memphis, but I don't recall any hockey arenas.
Nashville became a big hockey town.
So they say.
Well,
been a lot of
I got a Predators uniform and jersey at home.
You should wear it one day.
I think not.
The best Zoomer so far, Daryl from Georgia.
He was good.
He was just natural. It was just a natural call.
Let me ask you, because it's come up a couple of times. What is your review of the artist known as Jeff from Ohio?
He's easily the worst Zoomer that you have. I mean, on so many levels. He's not even affiliated with the SEC for one, and he's boring. I don't know, man. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I don't want to pick on the old dude, but he is easily the worst, and he's followed closely by a coach from South Carolina. He's right on his heels.
You don't like Chris?
It's just the same call. It's the same call every day. I mean, could literally make the call for him. And they need to be like me. They just need to take a couple of days off, watch the show, and analyze things, and then I think they should call in. Maybe they'd have a better call. I don't know. But, excuse me, I'm a little under the weather. When Trump gets through negotiating this Ukraine-Russia peace deal, I want to get him on you and Jim, with you and Jim's people. We've got to get Jim
do you,
back on the show.
listen, I know that I think it might be more complex. It doesn't sound like we're anywhere near a resolution with Jim.
I think you're just around the corner, man. I'm telling you. Okay. Once you sit down at the table and once the peace talks,
are you willing to intervene?
I don't think Jim wants me in the room, to be honest with you. So the best thing I can do is just hang back. And if your team needs any, assistance, give me a call. I'll be glad to consult with them.
Do you have any recommendations, Coral, for an emissary? I mean, who does Jim talk to? I mean, Jim doesn't talk to anybody anymore, does he?
Man would make a great emissary. Him and Jim are right there on the verge of getting together, I think. So
I just feel like I-Man has more important things on his mind right now than talking to Jim.
But I suggested Jim help you the other day. But when you and your wife get this mansion, you're going to need some help with it, dude. And it's a little old for you.
What do you think we ought to have Jim do at the new place?
I suggested that he was a gardener, but I got thinking he's a little bending over, pulling weeds and stuff like that. But he could be a butler.
How about an elevator operator?
You could dress him up. I mean, that's going to get him under your roof.
Okay.
You could be living there at the house with you, and he could be like your security guy when you're all out.
Between you and me,
yeah.
I don't really think I want him living there.
Yeah, so you need him living there because I'm telling you, when you and your wife are out of town, there could be like a gang of these illegal immigrants can come and all like they're doing these professional players.
I think we've got. I've got Johnny B out front.
Oh God, you are in trouble. So you had a pool table. Does the pool table stay?
Yes, it does.
Jim could give you some pool lessons. Do you know how to?
I don't think I've played pool since college.
Jim could give you some lessons. I had.
By the way, it looks like it looks like I mean, they left it for it. It looks like a nice pool table.
Yeah, it is a nice table. I had a nice. Sold it to my next door neighbor. Actually, he's got.
By the way, the pool stick. It's like an official Alabama pool stick. I kid you not.
That's good.
I'll take a picture.
That's what I'm saying. You need to get Jim over there. He could be your butler, your security guy, and pool he could give you pool lessons, but and put him on the payroll, and then that kind of help him into old age. Thanks for taking my call. Aloha.
Andy is up next.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Andy, we're doing great. Thank you.
Good. I've called a bunch in the past. I'm from up in Florence, and I first heard you in 1994 when I was a freshman at Birmingham Southern on the AM dial down in Birmingham, and have been listening whenever I could ever since. And y'all were talking about, I think that you should get Charles to come in and be the mediator between you and Jim.
Charles from Real Town.
He's not going to take.
By the way,
absolutely.
Charles does not like Jim.
Well, he's not going to take any of Jim's trash.
You're right. Well, if Charles will do it, I will appoint him immediately.
Is there like a bat signal or something you send out for Charles?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you find Charles. I mean, Real Town is not that big. If somebody is in Real Town, could you tell Charles we need him back?
Well, last week, I've got a question.
Yes.
Last week, a young man called in and wanted you to run for governor. And I started trying to call that day, and it's taken until today to get through. How does John get through 6 times on one show?
My fault.
Well, how do you feel about seersucker, Paul?
I have never owned a seersucker, but if it will help me get elected, I'll go to some cheap department store and buy their clearance sale.
Well, we've got it from the grass wire to the.
Andy, where in Alabama do you live? You said North Alabama.
Florence.
Would I need to wear seersucker to get elected?
You could get around Winston, Marion County. Yes.
What about? I mean, with a seersucker, don't you need a bow tie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't listen.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't really think I can. I think I'd rather lose than have to wear a bow tie.
Come on, Paul.
I am going to dress up if I run in the wood chopping shirt. You know, like the red and the check shirt. What do you call those things? Those a red and blue and green flannel shirt. That's what I'm going to wear. The same.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to buy 20 of those and wear the same. And wear that shirt every day. Make it look like I'm a working man.
A man of the people. There you go.
I'm going to wear ugly beat up jeans and the cheapest pair of tennis shoes I can find.
There you go. There was one other thing I was going to bring up.
By the way, Andy, I hate to ask you this. Can I count on your vote?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
So last week when that kid was beating up on when the young man was beating up on Wasserman, it harkened back to Brando and Shane.
Oh my goodness, that was an epic battle.
Was it Shane that smacked down Brando?
Yeah. By the way, did you ever hear the funniest call I think we ever had? You remember this guy named Chris Vernon, the talk show host in Memphis? He got into a debate with Shane one time that, I mean, I literally almost fell apart laughing. It was so funny. But if I could ever dig that one up, we'll play it.
You need an archives.
Yeah, somebody's got them.
Do you own all those old tapes, or are they available?
I don't have them, but I think Pat Smith has a bunch of them, though.
Well, that would be amazing to listen to a bunch of that stuff. I mean,
well, maybe on the final show before I get inaugurated, we'll just do a festival of the greatest hits.
Well, I mean, what we really need right now is Jim from Crestwood anyway to set us all straight.
Yeah, he sadly he died.
Oh.
By the way, have I told you this story that right before, not long before he died, I had a book out and I was doing a book signing in Birmingham, and he walked up to me, and I wasn't exactly sure who it was because I don't think I'd ever met him, and he called me aside. I got something to say. He said, "You're still I can't remember what he said. You're just a low-life pissant." I said, "Well, thank you, Jim. That's quite a compliment coming from you."
I always picture him sitting in dark room with an overflowing ashtray.
Yeah.
Chain smoking cigarettes. Thinking about the West Georgia Water Boys and mindless lemons.
He said he repeated that to me,
call.
and it was really funny. I never saw him again, and I don't know if I ever heard from him again. He did not like this new setup here.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. He wasn't the only. By the way, he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, Paul, I appreciate it.
Hey, great to hear from you. Thank you very much. We're up against the break. Why don't we? Oh, we have another call. Okay. Joe is up next.
Roll Tide, roll, Paul Finebaum. Hey, another great show today, Paul. And hey, if you ever do run for governor, you need to get Roman Harper to fix you up on the wardrobe. I mean, because he can do it good.
And Roman dresses too well to be governor of Alabama. Nobody wants to hear anybody in one of those those sharp suits. So don't you think, Joe? I just need to go with the. Somebody just sent me this. It's basically a red flannel. It's a red and black flannel shirt.
That's it. And a pair of blue jeans and a ball cap.
Wear a ball cap and drive around. And what's the car of choice in Alabama? What kind of truck?
I'd get any kind of good pickup truck, preferably a '70s model, because I love those '70s models.
Is Chevy or Ford better, or Dodge?
I've had better luck with Chevy, and I've had a
Chevy
Dodge
truck.
that was real good.
Chevy.
I had a Dodge that was good, but I drive a Chevy now, and I ain't had any problems.
Chevy's still an American company, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe so, Paul. But I enjoyed the Caleb Castile interview. I love that, Paul. He seems like a very good class guy. I've never heard him speak before, but man,
great.
He sounds good, Paul. And Daryl, I got to agree with Squirrel. Daryl, I think he's had the best Zoom call so far, but I do like Chris in South Carolina. I think his Zoom calls is better than his regular calls.
Anything would be better than his regular calls, Joe.
Right. And Jeff in Ohio, man, every time I see him, he reminds me of Tim Walls.
Hey, by the way, I think he could get as many votes as Tim Walls brought to that ticket.
He probably could. All he's got to do is raise both hands and wave it, as soon as he Zoom calls in, and that's Tim Walls.
Thanks for the call. We're up against the break. We're coming right back with more.
You're listening to the Paul Finebaum Show podcast.
We're back, and we continue. AJ is up next.
What's going on, my brother? Paul. Hey, as I'm sitting there, looking at the Alabama, the entire university, the programs, and all of them, but especially the football program and the basketball program, they're just falling apart at the bits, Paul. I mean, when you come to Birmingham, you're going to have to. I'll bring you an Auburn flag and put in your mailbox one day, and you can, fly it outside at the front yard, let everybody know that you've changed. And but no, I mean, Nick Saban leaves out of there, and hell, he took the football program. The players hit the road on them. He took the basketball program. I mean, what exactly are they going to do? I mean, they're up the creek without a paddle. I mean, this transition, they're transitioning to the lower tier of the SEC. I mean, they're the new Mississippi State, and that feels pretty good if you're another team and a fan for another team. I mean, I think it's an amazing feat to watch some loudmouth scum football team, program, fan base, student section. I mean, it's just pathetic. The only thing gets any worse is having to hear John call in here 19 times a show, and then that Jeff guy on that Zoom call that he makes that's consistently the same over and over and over. It's like he just hits a replay, but puts everybody to sleep. But I will tell you, Paul, you're just talking about some prison tips for John.
Yeah,
I've got one for him. What he needs to do is drop that soap bar as many times as he can in that shower, and everybody in there will get along with him. War Damn Eagle.
Braden is up next. Hello, Braden.
Hey, what's up, Paul?
We're doing great.
Just wanted to call in for a minute. I've been seeing a lot of Alabama callers on your show recently, and I'm from South Carolina. I'm a Gamecock fan, and just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on South Carolina football program. Obviously, we know the basketball hadn't been doing too well, and but just wanted to hear your thoughts on Shane Beamer and kind of where you see things going next year or two.
I think things are in great shape. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think Beamer has recruited very wisely, and I thought the way last season went. I mean, it was a difficult beginning, but South Carolina was playing at a very elite level at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, even when you kind of go back to the LSU game last year, I know coming from a South Carolina fan, it's kind of easy to be biased, but there were a lot of opportunities for us to kind of win that game and probably be in the conversation, obviously, with the playoff. But kind of going into last year, it was I don't know. I thought we were going kind of a first year quarterback. I thought we were really going to struggle, hopefully we can kind of turn things around and just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts.
Yeah,
on that.
Well, Braden, I feel very good, and I think a couple of things. You have Clemson at home next year. You have Alabama at home. I know LSU is on the road a couple, but that's when you get Clemson and Alabama at home, that gives you a lot of room. Hey, thank you for the call. Really good to hear from you. How about Slammer, your buddy Slammer from Gadsden?
Hey, Paul. You're building a house down here or buying a house in Alabama?
Yeah, no, I bought one.
Oh, Birmingham?
Yes.
You'll have no excuse to come see me in the Victor. Victor's my wife. That's her name, the Victor. Tell Randy.
Randy.
I believe the Victor could. I believe she could take Randy.
Hold on, now. Says Randy. Randy's ears perked up. Tell us a little bit about the missus.
She's short. She's about 5'6", and she's strong. She's
Randy just whispered to me, "I will kick her."
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah,
How'd you like the Alabama game last night, the basketball game?
I was not at all surprised.
Okay, listen, we have painted Putt's Barbecue. We are ready for you and Randy to come visit, and I want you to bring Nick Saban and Stephen A. Smith to meet the Slammer.
Okay, and one thing, Slammer, we'll do that after we eat dinner or lunch or whatever you want to do. Randy said, bring your wife, put her hand on that table, and let's get it on.
Let's get it on, Paul. Her name's Vicki Harris, the Vicster.
Vicki?
Yeah, say hey to my brother-in-law, Paul Adam. Say hey to Adam Campbell, Paul.
Hey, Adam. Paul Finebaum here. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, Paul.
I just volunteered my buddy Randy over here to arm wrestle the Vic.
That's his sister. That's his sister.
Was that a smart move or not?
Oh, man, that was a smart move. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Paul.
Randy's already talking trash.
When are you coming to? When are you moving, Paul?
I have to defer that question to my wife. I really don't know. I don't know anything other than you bought a house. That we did purchase something.
Okay, I'm a painter now, 45 years. So keep in mind, Harris Painting. I'm ready to buy your dinner. I'm ready to have you over for the night. I'm ready to take you out on the town, you and Randy.
Well, count on it, and I'll make sure I remember that Harris Painting. We'll take a break. We have a long way to... Well, actually, that is not true. We don't have that long to go, but we will be back with the final few minutes of this show right after this.
Thank you for listening to the Best of the Paul Finebaum Show podcast. Watch the Paul Finebaum Show weekdays from 3 to 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.